Discussion about, what is a man in 2021? That's the topic, right? And so right now, manhood is loosely defined, and we're allowing everybody else to define it, you understand me, but ourselves. And so the question becomes what is a man? You understand me? How can a man be sure that he is a man and he's fitting the standard of a defined man? How can he know that he's meeting any level of the protocol of manhood? How can a person in 2021, with everybody coming up with all of this toxicity and fluidity and all of these different things that they throwing at us, how can we be sure that we living up to the standards of what being a man in 2021 is?
Well, it goes back to what I was just telling the brothers, pretty much. For me, brother, the black man has to give the world his vision now on the type of planet we want. We already been up under white man indoctrination, one world order. Now you got the Chinese coming out with the Silk Road. But where is the vision? This is what men do. This is what gods do. We put our vision before the world, and then we execute it. We provide, protect, and maintain. We haven't provided very much at this point. We haven't protected our woman. We haven't even maintained our own homes. You haven't maintained your own mind. You got us bending over. So that masculine man, the man to come along and say, we're not going to bend over. We're not going to bow down. We're not going to let the police just murder us openly. We're not going to run to the polls and just vote without getting a damn deal before you give us your vote. And the black man has to learn to come together collectively and quit talking about Tom Brady. Let's talk about building power and becoming a force on this planet and in your house, brother. Quit sending your children out to the public school system to be slaughtered with the miseducation. You all should educate your own children so when they come out home and go to the public school system, they already prepared. The teacher can't tell them they ain't gonna be nothing because they already know they something. This is what the black man got to start doing. I think I'll let y'all alone with that. I don't give you too much.
I agree. I specifically agree with the aspect that you have to have some power, right? And power is foreign to us because the only power we used to is the predatory behavior we have against each other, right? When we're talking about real power, how do we define what power is? What is the type of power that we should be going for? Because till now, the type of power that we be wanting is a power that we emulate and we see the white man has. But what does power mean for a black man in America to where he can have some righteous power that adds to the collective? That's the question. What's the type of power that we need?
We need real power. It ain't what one power to me. That's real power. The power that the black man got is an illusion. We don't have any power. That's why you're so hard on your woman. That's the only power you got. It's over your woman. We ain't got no power over politics. We don't have any power over economics. We don't even have spiritual control over ourselves. We don't even have control over our minds. We too damn emotional. Everything upset us. We just get out of control. You start wilding out until Billy Bob show up. Then you settle down. No, brother, we need to separate. We need to separate. And what I mean by that, it can mean two things. Well, we need to separate economically, we need to separate spiritually, and politically. The pandemic, the best damn thing happened to us.
That's a fact.
Tell you the truth about it, because I don't need no verification form, personally myself. Well, all we got to do is open up the one they don't want to let us in. Well, hell, we gonna open up our own. Understand? Welcome our people in. Then we start setting up the economy where we start circulating that money back amongst ourselves. But right now, hell, if I go spend my business, spend my money with this brother, But after that, hell, I got to go spend my dollar with Billy Bob because I can't spend it with my brother over here. You understand what I'm saying? We need everything, brother, brought in our community, manufacturing and production. We own all these damn platforms. We don't own now one of them. We don't own no digital cable. We don't own no networks. We don't even have no research and development for bringing in new technology. All this mind power we got, 7.5-ounce brain. Our brain is much bigger than the Caucasian. This brain weighs only 6 ounces. Go check it out. I'm telling you a fact. So that means you got more capacity. You got more brain power, black man.
That's right.
But you've been fogging yourself up because you throw all the drugs out there. We get stressed out. We go for the Hennessy. We gonna go get that nice blunt that we like smoking on. When you build all that poison, don't forget the pork chop. So pretty soon you done broke down your mental power. See, the white man know all of this. He uses himself, but he uses it on us. Those are some of the things, that's a few of the things that if we do that, let's do those few things, brother, we can change our condition overnight. The reason I say that because when you start working, collectively, then that brings in unity. Understand what I'm saying? So they can't keep us divided. And I'll say one more thing. And the black man got to get a little bit more brave. You got to throw that fear out. We got to quit letting these Caucasians just murder us and expect a jury of 12 Caucasians to convict them. Understand what I'm saying? Because the George Zimmerman that killed my son, it'd have been dead a long time ago. And you can write that up any damn way you want it. But that's a natural born fact. We gotta quit letting these white boys just knock us off. But if your brother look at you wrong, you murder him without even a thought. So what the hell going on? You've been tricked. Like Malcolm said, you've been duped again. Understand what I'm saying? So you just need to change the way we do things. Turn it back to 19 people.
So what I'm hearing, number one, is fearlessness. But we don't really understand what fearlessness is, right? The ability to be able to speak truth without whispering is fearless, right? The ability to be able to protect yourself, you understand me, and have that courage, that's the type of fearlessness. But also when it comes to creating industries, we fear that it's gonna fail so much we don't even want to get it started. You understand me? We looking at examples from 100 years ago and say, well, it failed in Black Wall Street, so I'm not gonna create a business, because what's the point? Once you can get a people to flicker out all they light of hope and faith, then you have got them working on themselves. You understand me? So the type of power that we need is the fearless man today. You understand me? The productive, because if you're not productive, then you're completely worthless. So every man has to be producing something coming out of his mind. We are a consumer generation and a consumer people. So the moment that we become productive, we become valuable to each other. Because one of the biggest issues is we don't see the value in each other. We'll be like, well, we don't produce nothing. If I got rid of you, there's no production that stops. The world keep on going. But when you produce something, then you can see the value from each man and that he has and each woman that she possesses. So the black man has to produce something, whether it's a product, you understand me, whether it's service, whether it's education, whether you're producing your children and then understanding how to rear that household. And then it just comes to that point where a lot of men don't want to be masculine. And the brothers ask me all the time, well, you know, how do I get started? You understand me? How do I go from procrastination to willful? And I tell them just plain, you got to grab your nuts and be a man. But when you tell a man to be a man, that means something. Why it means something? Because being a man means that, oh, you're right, I need to move. Because man is movement. Meaning I should be going forward. If I ain't moving forward, I'm stagnant. I can't consider myself a man. You see a brother lazy on the couch, he talking about, I'm a man. Nah, you don't look like it to me. So the standard for manhood is movement, operation, production, function, forward. You understand me? So anytime you find yourself lazy, oh man, I ain't in my manhood right now. And women don't respect that. That's why the feminine and masculine balance between men and women is off. You chasing her and she chasing a man that's in his purpose. She wants to go find more freedom away from you because the intimacy that you want is what she used to have. Now she needs freedom to get away from you because she got to masculize herself. But see, the moment that a man gets off his pivot of purpose, then a woman is no longer attracted to that man because she's more attracted to a man of purpose. And function meets purpose. So what is your point of living? Why are you alive? What do you think? What do you produce? Then she go come to you for that reason. Damn, that brother's a great speaker. He's magnetic. Or that brother got a nice product. I love the way he built his business. Then you get with her and all you want to do is lay up with her. Now you don't trust her and all these issues, and now she want to go break away. So being a man will attract everything that you want. But when we look at the criteria of manhood, another one is willpower. The ability to take a thought that exists only in your head and you can bring it into reality is a measurement of manhood, because man is mind. So how do you know if you working as a man is if your mind is working? If your mind don't work, then the man don't work. You understand me? So we have to be able to look at the man's mind as his womb. The same way we can easily see the value of a woman. She has a womb, she produces the man. But what does the man produce once he comes out of the woman? You understand me? He got to utilize his womb as well. So his womb is when he can have a thought that it starts to spiral in the darkness, and he works so much energy in it that he brings it to life. He brings it to light, and the world can see now. And then they measure the man by his accomplishments. Because what they saying is, this is how much your mind been working since you've been alive. But if a man has nothing, there ain't nothing to measure by. So he starts to see himself as worthless because he can't see anything that he produced. So production is the #1 order today. So manhood ain't about, oh, I can knock the most women, oh, I got the most car, I got the most clothes. What are you producing, and how much of a service are you providing to the very members of the group and the culture that you come from? See, education ain't supposed to be some individual function and journey that we go on. It was supposed to make that individual more valuable to the group or the culture that they come from. But now we go get an education so we can live our own individual successful lives. But then that does nothing for the culture. So the Asian community says that no, that relationship that you get with education, you got to bring back somehow to help the culture move forward. But since we don't have cultural integrity, cultural value, then we see everything is just about I. I get 18, I can't wait to leave. I can't wait to build my dream. So the moment that they got us to do that, that's a fact. The moment they got us to do that, they got us to take the most valuable parts of us and take it away from each other. You understand me? Because once we get educated, we put ourselves out of the culture, and now we into a class. Now we are fraternity. Now we are sorority. Now I'm a millionaire. You understand me? But at first you was a black man. At first you was a black woman. What happened about that being a badge of honor? There ain't a degree on this planet Earth that's better than your melanin. You understand me? Not on the planet Earth. There was a black man who came here in 1930, you understand me? And throughout that whole entire time, they gave you more knowledge of self than any institution on the planet Earth can give you. That's why the most educated of us are trying to still figure out how to learn themselves. And they still got to go read messages to the black man. That just means that the educational system ain't giving a message to the black man. So we have to make sure that we value each other. We value the progress that is coming out of the community, the minds that have come out of the community, and we ask ourselves a simple question. And that question has to be, how do I go as far as those who were before me, or how do I go further? Well, if the Honorable Elijah Muhammad had trust set up and real estate set up, is the Honorable Mosiah Marcus Garvey, or had 25 chapters across the planet, yet without social media, and he created his Universal Negro Association, damn, how do I do more than that? He created his own ship line, his own press line. Why are Frederick Douglass, Marcus Garvey, and Honorable Elijah Muhammad the most successful black leaders of all time? Very simple thing they have in common was media, right? Frederick Douglass created his own media. Marcus Garvey created his own media. Honorable Elijah Muhammad created his own media, and it allowed them to control the ideas that was put into the people. Now we have social media, but people are not using it to spread ideas that affect the culture. We only thinking about how is it going to affect me? How do I look better? How can I get more comments, get more likes? So you controlled by someone else's media, and that's why Zuckerberg is one of the richest men on the planet Earth. The most effective, he controls media. NBC, ABC, Fox, media houses of control and power, because what's in the mind is produced in the reality. Everything exists twice, once in the mind and then in reality. There was nothing that wasn't created first with a thought. You understand me? So we talking about atomic energy coming together, yet we don't want to be a multi-dimensional people. So we have to understand the laws of the universe. We ain't just talking about you pass the law and you go to the Association of the British Registry and you pledge allegiance to them. So now you ain't for your people because you pledged allegiance to somebody else. Well, a Native American brother said his mentor told him he needed to become an attorney. And he like, why? We sovereign. We ain't messing with no bar. He said, nah, you need to become a spiritual attorney that learns the universal laws. You understand me? And once you learn the universal laws, those are laws that you can carry when your body don't exist. You understand me? He said when you come here, you're a sperm. And the sperm is being guided by that egg. The egg tells the sperm which way to go. You understand me? She's picking the best one. You understand? He don't know where he's going. That sperm just moving, right? So you're already getting instruction, already getting function, motility. You understand me? Then you come to, you sparked at that moment of conceivement with that egg. Then it grows into the womb and your body starts to produce a spine. First thing a man gets is a spine, and then how you grow up and you ain't got one no more. Can't stand up for yourself. You know what I'm talking about? So once you're in that womb, you're growing arms, legs, limbs, heart, kidney, lungs, eyes, ears, tongue, every single thing you will need for the world that you're about to come into. So once you're born into the world, the question becomes is, what are you developing that will allow you to be prepared for the next world you go into? And it's the spiritual laws that you cultivate that will prepare you for the next world that you go into. Because those are the only things you can take with you. What you've done, how you've guided, the energy you gave to the people, the legacy you live behind. That will outwork anything your body can ever do. It's the deeds and the foundation that a man leaves while he's living. That is going to set precedence to affect time for generations to come. So we're not talking about how you just gain you some money. We're not talking about just how you get on technology. We're talking about how do we control time. Because they put us on their system of the Gregorian calendar, the Julian calendar, and told the whole world, utilize this mechanized time machine in this system on the 1260 frequency. 12 months out the year, 7 days, 60 minutes, 60 seconds. So now, oh, I'm late because I didn't make it in this frame of time. Oh, now you work, get you a 9 to 5. So they take your life energy and they control it in increments of time. So when a black man owns and controls his own time, he on a completely different frequency. Because a flower don't know what time it is, but it still blossoms. Because it's connected to the nature that Allah created in his universe. So when you connected it to your nature, then you always in time and on time. You understand me? And if a man controls your time, he controls your life. He controls your wife. Because now she gotta be at time. She gotta be on time. I need to talk to you a little more. Nah, I'm late. You understand me? Nah. So a woman can't even respect a man that don't control his own time. Because he can't make time for his family and the relationships that he covers as the most valuable and important. So a man is a maker and a master and a producer. So I'll leave y'all with this. You know, in slavery time, they talked about the slave moral system. The slave moral system was this. Anything that the master creates is bad. Anything that I create must be good because I'm slave and he's master. So master tells us the rules. So whoever creates the rules must be bad. I don't want to do that. He creates the religion. Whoever creates the religion, controls that, must be bad. He tells us the language. He tells us the time, the culture, every single thing. So we looked at being masters as a bad thing. So we don't want to do that because we feel like we're being good as long as we're the one being oppressed. Because we are in a subservient condition. So anytime a black man or any man on this planet Earth decides to speak and be rebellious to the masters, the people are like, who gave you permission to do that? Who told you can create your own worlds, your own platform, your own institution? Why don't you just use this, the ones the master gave us? Who told you can create your own banking institutions, your own hair care products and healthcare solutions? No, so we don't even look at being masters as a good thing. So when we left that plantation, we tried to figure out how we can be better slaves. We didn't try to figure out how we can own the plantation so we can be masters of our own destiny. So a man who is not a master of something is a slave to everything else. You know what I'm talking about? So you have to figure out, how do I master something? Something, when I know your last name, I should be like, that last name is connected to this mastery, connected to this product. Men were known by their last names, and their son were known by those names as well. Are you part of this family, which is connected to that industry, which does that, which gives it value? So the reason that family is the most important, because this is how we create institutional power that will allow us to build any and every single thing that we want on the planet Earth. But every family should be backed by something.
That's right.
And that should be an industry of intellectual property and service and mastery. Well, I think we said it.
Good me, brother. I didn't even say that, man.
Yes, sir. Well, I appreciate y'all coming apart. Me and Pop's gonna do more of these podcasts, you know, in these segments. And these segments become downloads into the mind frame, because each one of us have a programming, right? If y'all was all born in a different state or a different planet with a different set of parents, you would have became a different person with a different mind. So you gotta question everything in your environment and your upbringing. Is this the best programming I could be operating off of, or am I operating off of it because of my environment? Now you have the ability to change your programming, and every level of consciousness comes with a new what? Come on, man. Every level of consciousness comes with a new language. The poor man don't speak the same language as the rich man. The rich man don't speak the same language as the wealthy man. The player don't speak the same language as the stadium owner. You understand me? The uninitiated don't speak the same language as the initiated, because language gives the man ability to express, and expression is an action. So once I learn the stocks, I'm interacting with the stock market. Now I'm utilizing different words. Now the word options means more to me. You understand me? I got a different value about myself. The righteous man ain't gonna speak the same language as a nigga. You understand me? Because he can't put that expression over himself, because he's gonna act in the function and the language in which he utilizes. So each language, whether it's the NFT language, oh, now I know tokenomics, that means something to me. Now I hear somebody else use it, oh, I can tap in with you. You understand me? So you have to ask yourself, if I take the algorithm of everybody's vocabulary, what are you producing? Because the words that we use create the worlds that we in. You understand me? So if you're in a broke world, it's because you've been using broke thoughts with broke words. You understand me? You're a rich man, you've been using rich thoughts with rich words. Everything you say has an action that expresses a longitude of creation. You understand me? A circumference of a world that you're building. So you gotta change your language. That's how you start to control the way you think. If I give a man 5 words to use and I only tell him cuss words, he can only think and speak in a lower form of thinking. You understand me? But if I teach a man not to just say, oh, we about to fuck, but instead he says that, no, I'm learning tantric sex. It is a completely 2 different worlds. You understand me? We teaching a man diversification, or you teaching a man to stack his bread. Completely 2 different worlds. You understand me? So once you change your language and you change the expression of your thoughts, you literally building a new environment that your mind is in. And the most important thing for anybody, if you want to change, is that environment. The right environment allows you to have the right thoughts. The wrong environment has you the wrong thoughts. You understand me? Because we become programmed and we react to all of the outside stimuli. We are organisms of reaction. You understand me? So you get around some people, automatic reaction based on your programming. You get around other people, oh, bro, got a good vibe. Sis opens up something into me. When I get into this environment, I just feel better. I got richer thoughts. Why? Because that environment is stimulating you, right? Or that environment can be killing you. You understand me? In the hoods of America, if you take a meter and you measure the particle matter of the air, it's bad. The environment is polluted. You can't even breathe the right oxygen and get the best thoughts. You understand me? Then you're gonna take yourself over there to Beverly Hills. They don't even allow tobacco smoking on certain streets. Why? Because they need that oxygen clear. They want that feeling of wealth instead of that feeling of poison. You go to your homeboy's crib, they ain't talking about nothing but the hoes they slutted off. You understand me? They ain't talking about how they gonna build a foundation with a woman to create an institution in the nation. How they gonna invest in her so that they get a reciprocal return on their investment. No, you go to some people's house, they talking about all the issues with their family instead of how they gonna solve all the problems with their family. It's a different conversation, and your environment is based on the atmosphere that you allow your senses to be around. You understand me? Your eyes are senses. When you scrolling, that's an environment. You tell your child that iPad and they playing them little games and they watching Cartoon Network or whatever they watching, that's an environment. So for the most part, the parent is not parenting. They babysit. They just watching and allowing everything else to raise their child. You understand me? the peers, the TV, the iPad, the internet, the social media. Your child out there with all the other gender fluid kids don't know who they are. Coming home confused, so when you tell them something, they rebellious. Well, no, that might be mom and dad old style. You understand me? So they ain't gonna tell you they rebellion against that because they've already been taught that that's an old way of thinking. So you thinking you passing down culture and tradition, but when they already been taught that that's the wrong paradigm to live in, you lost your child. You understand me? So before you even know it, you understand me, your child is no longer yours, that's a child of the world. So you have to learn to become the best teacher. Because if you can't teach me technology, I need to learn it from somebody. And Google is the best parent on the planet. Because it teaches a child more than any parent could ever teach. And mostly because the parent is lazy. I ain't gonna learn NFTs, well, how your child gonna learn? Oh, I ain't gonna learn crypto, how your child gonna learn? I don't wanna look into augmented reality, how your child gonna learn? It ain't about you, damn it, it's about their future. So if they don't learn it in a household and they get it from everywhere else, then everywhere else becomes more valuable than the household. So you have to learn to control the magnitude of their thoughts and your thoughts. So we talking about nation building at its very foundation. Between the ages of 1 to 4, the child can be tested to be 90% of them creative. By the time they get 13, 16, 4% is creative. And today, your child ain't got to create no technology. They got all these crazy resources. They have to figure out the best ways to use it. You talking about a 4-year-old who made $400,000 because he found the best way to use this technology was through his skill set and intellectual property. Your child can't wait to grow up, get a degree, and work for that child. That ain't the way we gonna set the next generation up. Be your own saviors. Create your own opportunities and do for self. Those are the 3 main characteristic thoughts that you should be supplanting into that child's subconscious. So anytime somebody offered them the opportunity, they're only deciphering and breaking it down on how do I create that for myself. Or I might work for you for now, only to learn enough to work for myself. Never so that they can just grow up and be job seekers, but so that they can be job creators. That's the future that we blessed with. Pops, did you want to lead the people with a word before we break apart?
Yeah, I only got a few. Black man God.
Come on.
Take that responsibility now. Black man God. Say it, brother. Y'all scared of the word? Y'all scared Jesus gonna come back and get you or something? Black man God. With black man being God, that's a responsibility. Understand? Y'all pray to God every day. Y'all put all of that on it. You understand what I'm saying? But you the solvers of your problems. Take on that responsibility, God. So when you take on the mentality of a God, that means you have to change. You have to change your ways. The way you speak, the way you eat, the way you do business, even the way you even sleep, black man. And I would just like to say, I say the black man, but the woman, this black woman, these 2 keys go together, man and woman. You all are the key as well. You the first teachers. You the first teachers, mothers.
That's right.
Everything this little brother gonna learn first gonna come through. Give me some, guy. Come on up here, so it's gonna have to come from the mother. But as we get back to the black man, that's your responsibility, brother, to set the protocol up. You set up that black guide energy protocol in your homes. Mothers have to be highly educated. We're not Talibans. We want our woman to learn and know. Even something like the brother was saying that you don't know, you go back and study and get that information because you want to bring it in the homes. And the brothers have to set the home up to where it's a learning and spiritual environment. It's an educational institution in the home, but not like the Caucasian. You teaching your children to grow up to be revolutionaries, really, brother. They're not going to school to get no doggone job. You understand? I was gonna say something else, seeing the little brother sitting here. You understand? But that's our responsibility, and I don't want to go too much further with that. We don't want to give you too much because it'll run right in and out. But black man God, we the owners of this whole planet. We put the sun, moon, and stars up there. over the 76 trillion years ago. That's how ancient you are. But they only told you his story. Understand what I'm saying? Throw that stuff out the window. Don't even teach your children that crap. You understand? Teach them their real history. They tell you about the pyramids, they can't tell you a doggone thing about them because they don't know how they got built. There's many books of mathematics the Caucasian only was allowed to have 3. So I will close with that. I appreciate everybody. May Allah continue to bless you.
Y'all stay here for a second.
And all praise is due to Allah.